Most people think buying a Toyota is enough to guarantee a long life, but that's not true. A Toyota can easily cross 300,000 miles, sometimes even 500,000, only if you take care of the small things before they become expensive problems. In this guide, I'm going to show you simple habits that help Toyota owners keep their cars running smoothly for years. These are real-world maintenance tips that improve reliability, save money, and prevent major breakdowns later on. And make sure you stay until the end because the final habit costs absolutely nothing, yet many high-mileage Toyota owners say it's the reason their cars still run like new. Pay attention to your tires. Most drivers only think about tires when one goes flat, but your tires affect fuel economy, suspension life, steering feel, and even transmission wear. Start by checking tire pressure once a month. Use a digital tire gauge and compare the numbers to the sticker inside the driver's door. If the pressure is too low, the edges wear out faster and gas mileage drops. Too much pressure wears the middle of the tire and makes the ride rough. You should also check tread depth regularly. A simple coin test works fine. If the tread looks shallow or uneven, it's time to replace the tires before they become dangerous. Rotate your tires every 5,000 miles. The easiest time to do it is during your oil change. This helps all 4 tires wear evenly and reduces stress on suspension parts. If your steering wheel shakes while driving, your tires may need balancing. Ignoring vibration for too long can slowly damage wheel bearings and suspension components. Drivers with larger Toyotas like the Tundra or Sequoia should inspect tires even more often, especially if they tow trailers or carry heavy loads regularly. 2. Don't ignore your brakes. Brakes usually warn you before they fail. The problem is most people wait too long to listen. If you hear squeaking or grinding, inspect the brake pads immediately. Thin brake pads can damage the rotors, turning a small repair into a much bigger bill. Healthy brake pads have plenty of material left on them. Once they become too thin, stopping distance increases and braking performance suffers. Brake fluid also matters more than most people realize. Over time, moisture builds up inside the system, which can cause corrosion and weak braking. Replacing brake fluid every few years helps protect brake lines and calipers. If your steering wheel shakes while braking, the rotors may already be warped from heat. This is common in vehicles driven in heavy traffic, mountains, or hot weather. Toyota SUVs like the Highlander and RAV4 often go through brakes faster in hilly areas because drivers use them constantly on downhill roads. Watch your suspension carefully. A worn suspension doesn't just make the ride uncomfortable, it also affects handling, tire wear, and braking stability. One easy test is the bounce test. Push down hard on the front or rear of the car and let go. If the vehicle keeps bouncing several times, the shocks are likely worn out. You should also look underneath the car occasionally. If you notice leaking fluid around the shocks or cracked rubber bushings, repairs may be needed soon. Bad suspension parts slowly create other problems. A small worn bushing today can eventually damage control arms, tie rods, and tires later. Most Toyota suspension systems last a long time, but rough roads, potholes, towing, and heavy loads wear them out faster. If your Camry or Corolla feels loose while steering or drifts slightly at highway speeds, worn sway bar links or strut mounts could be the reason. 4. Check engine oil frequently. Changing oil is important, but checking it between oil changes is just as important. Some Toyota engines naturally burn a little oil as they age. If you never check the level, the engine could eventually run low without warning. To check it properly, park on level ground and let the engine cool for a few minutes. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean, insert it again, then check the level. The oil should sit between the two marks. If it's low, add a small amount and recheck. Also, pay attention to the oil color. Clean oil usually looks amber or light brown. Thick black oil means it's overdue for a change. Milky-looking oil can signal coolant contamination, which needs immediate attention. Always use the correct oil grade recommended for your Toyota. Modern engines are designed around specific oil types, especially hybrids and turbocharged models. And never skip the oil filter. Fresh oil running through a dirty filter defeats the entire purpose of an oil change. 5. Replace dirty filters before they cause problems. Your Toyota relies on several filters to keep air, fuel, and fluids clean. Once those filters clog up, performance drops and parts wear faster. The engine air filter is one of the easiest things to replace. A dirty filter restricts airflow, making the engine work harder and burn more fuel. If you drive in dusty areas or heavy traffic, inspect it more often than normal. The cabin air filter matters too. Many people forget about it completely. A clogged cabin filter weakens airflow from the AC system and can create bad smells inside the vehicle. Older Toyotas may also have replaceable fuel filters. Keeping those clean protects fuel injectors and helps maintain proper fuel pressure. If your transmission uses a serviceable filter, replace it during transmission fluid service. It helps remove debris and keep shifting smooth. Cheap filters are risky. Low-quality filters can collapse, leak debris, or fail early. Using trusted brands or OEM parts is usually worth the extra few dollars. 6. Don't forget the other fluids. Engine oil gets all the attention, but your Toyota depends on several other fluids too. Coolant protects the engine from overheating. If coolant levels keep dropping, don't ignore it. Small leaks can quickly become major engine damage. Brake fluid should stay clean and moisture-free. Old fluid can reduce braking performance and damage expensive components. Older Toyotas with hydraulic steering systems also need power steering fluid maintenance. Dirty fluid makes steering heavier and increases pump wear. Transmission fluid is another major one. Many owners wait too long to change it because the vehicle still feels normal, but worn fluid slowly damages internal transmission parts over time. For hybrids like the Prius or Highlander hybrid, inverter coolant is extremely important. Hybrid cooling systems need regular inspection just like the engine cooling system. Keeping emergency fluids in the trunk can save you during road trips or unexpected leaks. 7. Inspect belts, batteries, and hoses. These parts often fail without much warning. A weak battery may still start the car one day and fail completely the next morning. If your engine cranks slowly or lights appear dim, test the battery before it leaves you stranded. Drive belts should also be checked for cracks or fraying. A slipping belt can affect the alternator, water pump, air conditioning, and steering system all at once. Some older Toyota engines use timing belts instead of timing chains. Replacing them on schedule is critical because a broken timing belt can destroy the engine internally. Radiator hoses deserve attention too. Heat slowly weakens rubber over time. If a hose feels soft, swollen, or brittle, replace it before it bursts. Older Tacoma and Tundra owners often keep spare belts and tools in the truck because belt failures can happen unexpectedly on long drives. Fix small leaks before they become big repairs. Tiny leaks are never harmless forever. A small oil leak today might seem unimportant, but low oil levels eventually damage internal engine parts. Coolant leaks are especially dangerous because overheating can destroy head gaskets and warp engine components. Fuel smells should never be ignored. Fuel leaks are both dangerous and expensive if left untreated. Even the check engine light matters more than people think. Many problems start small and inexpensive but become major repairs if ignored for months. Simple scan tools now let drivers read trouble codes at home in minutes. Catching an oxygen sensor problem early is much cheaper than replacing a catalytic converter later. Toyota vehicles are extremely durable, but only when owners pay attention to early warning signs. Bonus habit: drive smoothly and think long-term. Here's the habit many high-mileage Toyota owners have in common: they drive gently. They don't floor the gas pedal on cold starts, they avoid hard braking whenever possible, they follow maintenance schedules consistently instead of waiting for problems. Most importantly, they treat the vehicle like they plan to keep it for another 10 years. Short trips are also harder on engines than most people realize. If the engine never fully warms up, moisture and fuel residue build inside the oil, leading to faster wear over time. That's why many long-term owners occasionally take longer drives to fully heat everything up and keep the engine cleaner internally. At the end of the day, reaching 300,000 miles isn't about luck. It's about consistency. Small maintenance habits repeated over many years are what separate a Toyota that dies early from one that keeps running decade after decade.